Yo, yo, what is up, feasters? Welcome back to another great episode of the Anime Feast. This is Dominique, and as always, I have the two wonderful co-hosts, Tawan and Matt.
Yo, yo.
Uh, Itadakimasu.
Guys, doing another chapter review. One Piece chapter 1034. And I just want to say, last chapter was great because it was about Zoro and Queen and learning some fun things. And we were like, great, we'll finally get more of Zoro and what's happening with him. Because we've seen a lot of Sanji stuff recently, and we were like, okay, cool. Like, Sanji's got his new exoskeleton, he's getting his powers, he destroyed his raid suit. Okay, cool. We've seen a lot of his fight with Queen. It's time to get to Zoro and King for a while. Right? Right? We got one chapter. What's the name of this chapter? Sanji versus
Sanji
Queen.
versus Queen. Hell yeah, Sanji chapter, baby, let's go.
Why the heck did we just saw them?
Yeah. Ooh, we got like two chapters because it's like, oh no, Enma, and then it goes back to him. We got two chapters with Zoro.
Oh man, my arm looks like Piccolo's arm, whatever. Like, come on.
I was so upset when I saw the title of this chapter. I was like, this is stupid.
This is fantastic.
Obviously,
what exactly everybody asked for. That's what it is.
No, not at all. But maybe this is the coming to a head. I did enjoy how we got to see a little bit of Momo in this chapter, and we did get to go back to like the dragon clouds and the storm clouds that the dragons can grab, and Momo using his intelligence to kind of be like, okay, I cannot produce my clouds enough. I don't have control over my clouds yet. But wait a minute, I'm a dragon. That means I can grab onto Kaido's dragon clouds and just push them back and stop Onigashima from crashing on the capital. If I can't produce my own to make a fly off somewhere else, I can at least grab the existing ones and stop it. Yeah, so I thought that was a very smart way to go back and be like, okay, cool. Momo's for the most part gonna have this under control. So unfortunately, he can't do everything Kaido can do yet, but he just got his power up, so I understand. But great, Momo's got some good things happening. Fantastic. We go back to the pleasure hall, and for some reason, we see one of the ladies crying about. At first, it said that, what was the name? Chuji. And he's like, he won't be, I can't find him, don't worry, I'm sure he's fine. So I was like, who is this he? Because typically there's not any guys down in the pleasure hall, right? Well, outside of for fun times. But right now, there are like no men down there. So I was really confused as to what she was talking about. And it turns out to be a fucking mouse. I'm so concerned about a mouse.
Maybe it's like a Cinderella type deal.
No, there are fights going on all around you. The whole place is burning to the ground, and you don't want to leave for a mouse.
Screw off.
I was like, what is this? But then we get to go to Queen and Sanji, and Queen's pulling out the same attacks that Sanji's brothers didn't use. It was like, what?
It's like, I love Queen too. He's like, oh yeah, I just want to prove that my science is better than your dad's science. And Sanji's like, I don't care about you. I don't care about my dad. I don't care about anything. Like, I just want to beat you right now so I can go watch a Pirate King kick Kaido's ass. Let's get out of here. Stop. I'm done messing with you.
I also think it's really funny that the names of his attacks are still the same as his brothers. Like, granted, instead of saying, Henry or Valkyrie or whatever, it's always Queen. It's instead of sparking Valkyrie, it's sparking Queen, and instead of Henry Blazer, it's Henry Queen. But so like he didn't fully change the name outside of like his own name at the end of it. But I am very intrigued because I know they worked together with Mads, but like, how was Queen able to get every single ability from the raid suits and put them into himself?
I think I'm in this theory, at least in my mind, at least like Queen, Caesar, Judge, and Vegapunk. We're all scientists together, and then they all had different philosophies, and they wanted to go different ways, and so Queen went to Kaido, Judge did his own thing in North Blue, Caesar went to Punk Hazard, and then
Vega went to the world government.
Yeah.
And the Marines.
So I think they all collaborated and they all took their own pieces what they could get from each other. Because we actually haven't seen Caesar in quite some time, which one I'm very okay with, but two is just like no, like they all know the science and they all reference each other, but they never actually say like why or how they were together.
I mean, it would be interesting if they are like real scientists and they publish like scientific articles. It's like, oh, I got to publish my knowledge so you can see I'm the smartest. But it's very interesting. I mean, that would be the only way I could see them getting each other's technology or
Yeah.
information about how each other does anything. But that's a part of science too, is like writing everything down and sharing that information with others. So
And
it's
that is
their
what
own scientific community.
and that's what Queen said. He did say, I played dumb about it earlier, but the plain truth is I researched and tested all of German science. So that's how he now has the ability. Now he's like, I wanted you to be in the raid suit, Sanji, so that I could beat you using your dad's, own stuff against him to show that I'm a better scientist and was able to like even further improve on
Do you,
his design.
do you think because I know like North Blue had the comics with like the German 66 comics that Law's still a fan of, which I love. That's so funny when he's like, oh yeah, like it's still black. Oh, that's still black. Oh my god, running in the
Yeah,
comics. And like, do you think that's how Queen got the knowledge of like how the raid suits actually work? Possibly.
I think he just because of them all working together in Mads. I'm pretty. If I'm not, I would assume that somewhere in their old laboratory, some of Queen's stuff or Judge's
Judges.
stuff was there, and he was just able to kind of like look back at Judge's old notes, and like get an idea of where he was going with it, and then maybe use the comics to see more about it. But I think he had access to some of the stuff in the past because to see an ability is different than to be able to like research how it was done. So I feel like he had some previous notes from Judge. But Sanji ends up kicking off one of Queen's arms, so that was pretty cool.
That was awesome. Especially after when he was in the middle of the attack, he's like, what, the Henry? Or no,
He was
Winch
doing the Winch
Queen. And then
Queen.
Sanji's like, nah, dude, stop.
Yeah.
Stop talking about my brothers. I'm sick of them.
He set his leg ablaze again and cut the leg right, or kicked the arm right off. Which finally, because I mean, before you were hitting Queen stuff, and he would just turn it back into like a dinosaur arm or whatever. But now it's like, no, I destroyed your arm. Now what? But
Oh, man.
then Queen's put out the move of all his other three brothers, and then Queen's like, okay, and turns invisible. It just does the stealth black invisibility.
Oh.
And it was pretty cool because it was like, well, after he did that, Sanji was thrown off a little bit. But then Sanji was like,
I can do that
that's
too.
fine. Yeah, that's fine. You can copy stealth black. Guess what? And then Sanji was gone. And Queen was like, what? I love Queen's faces though. Because once again, Queen had that shocking, like goofy ass face. And he was like,
You disappeared again?
yeah.
Out of all the commanders so far, except like, I think aside from Katakuri, like Queen's by far my favorite. Like we got to know Queen more and more like through the prison and everything, but like Queen, like he's just more of a character and just more facial reaction. Like because I don't know, King's like Zoro. Like it's like oh like when he pulled his face back last chapter and just like smacked his face into Zoro. Like it's like what is he doing? But
I hate that move when King does it. It makes me so mad every time I see it because it's one of those faces, and I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, Queen understands that Sanji's not actually invisible. He's just moving so fast that he can't be seen, and he's like, it was stupid because he's gonna run out of stamina, and then I'm gonna be able to see him, and he's then gonna be too tired to dodge. And that's when the stupid mouse shows up, and that lady's like, oh no, and going like tries to go get the mouse, and Queen is invisible and was like, oh, you're the lady that I wanted to have after the main chick died, and you always said no to my summons, and you were supposed to be sick, and look at you looking perfectly fine. You didn't get enough punishment earlier. And then we're like, oh crap, that's what happened. We all thought when Sandy was like, I blinked out, and then the girl was on the ground bleeding, and I was like, oh no, did I do that? And we all were like, oh no, Sandy finally hit a woman. No, no, no. Sandy still has never hit a woman. It was Queen, and Queen was invisible. And Sandy knew, and Sandy understood that, and took, he just dropped the load on Queen.
Yeah, he he realizes that like because of all the improvements that his body's been making, he's got an increase in like his exoskeleton, his speed,
in his
uh,
strength.
yeah, and all of
No,
which increases strength. And then he's got his
yes.
arm in hockey, so his fire can go even hotter.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? And I don't think. I mean, like Queen says, self black. Like Queen just like turned himself invisible. So like to me, like all the other attacks that Queen did beforehand, they were just imitations of what his brothers did. Like
Yeah,
they're not actually truly their attacks.
yeah. Queen has been able, like again, Queen researched the techniques enough that he now can do them. So whatever they were, Queen had now has the ability to use pretty much every ability that the raid suits have. And
But not to the perfection of the raid suits.
I don't know, because I mean he's been able to do all of them.
But like
He just
but when he said stealth black, I mean all he did was just turn himself invisible. He didn't actually like go super speed. That's where I'm thinking at least my mind process is.
But doesn't stealth black actually just make you invisible? He didn't move that fast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. No.
Uh,
Stealth Black's
so,
invisibility. He had, remember, on the heels of his feet, he had the extra speed boost thing, and
yeah, and
Sanji's
that's what
also
allows
already
all the
fast.
Grommas to fly essentially, because
Yeah.
they all have that kind of stuff on their feet.
Yeah. It's the addition. So like, yeah, like here, because remember Sanji's name was Stealth Black because he was invisible. It wasn't because he was fast and invisible, because he was invisible.
okay, I thought it was because of that. Okay, that makes more sense.
But yeah,
But just
Sanji has that power up again. He's like, my exoskeleton's stronger. I have developed my armament hockey
yeah,
really far. So now at this point, I can handle an even higher degree of fire. And goes to Infrit Jambe and just
Ifrit.
like,
Yes, the fire demon.
yep, knocks the invisibility out of Queen. to where it freaks the girl out, and he's like, yeah, it wasn't me that hit you earlier, it was Queen, and then goes
He's,
on to continue blasting Queen with a variety of hot attacks.
that was so cool. I don't know. I just love good Sanji chapter, and that's what his new attacks, his super. I don't know, like Demon Lord in his leg. Like I don't know, like it's so good.
My only interesting thing is on the very last panel when like Sanji's like, now fly, Sicko, and kicks Queen away. There's hockey coming off of his kick. And typically, I feel like we see that type of hockey flow when it involves conquerors. But
well,
I don't see Zoro. I don't see Sanji being a conqueror's hockey guy because he doesn't have the ambition to be any type of king. He doesn't have the ambition to be like the best of this. His ambition is to see the all blue. So that doesn't mean like Luffy, king of the pirates, makes sense. Zoro, strongest swordman, makes sense. Sanji, I want to see all blue. Okay, that is not the ambition of someone who gets conqueror's hockey. That's just how I see it. But I saw that, I found that interesting, and I can't remember if some of the armament hockey attacks in the past have also had this kind of static coming off of them, but I know conqueror attacks do, so I'm like very interested in that last panel.
Just good chapter though. Exciting, but hopefully we'll get more Zoro in the next week. But we'll see.
I was hoping for more Sanji next week.
I'm sick of this. Sick of this shit. Especially because Zoro at the end of it was like developing. He was understanding more about, like, it was starting to work up to sounding like Zoro was about to release or to turn possibly the Wado Ichimonji into a Black Blade. Like he's working on that, on fully understanding the blades, what it takes to become a master of the blade, and really developing your own Black Blade. And like I feel like that's what's coming, because the Wado Ichimonji and Enma are siblings, and it's just like, come on, get there. We're there. Like we're there. We're there.
Once your siblings stop fighting with each other and let me control you.
like once we get there, like Enma, like accept, like I know you're testing me being Zoro, let me like do this, and now Zoro's got Conqueror's Haki coming off of all the blades, and it's like fantastic. This is gonna like this is showing the height, the climax of this fight. And then Oda was like, that was cool. Back to Sanji. Bitch, no.
I wonder what's happened with Luffy and Kaido. Actually, that's probably the biggest one. We haven't seen that fight in a while. Like
that's actually a good point.
Like almost a month, I think, since like before the Queen and King fight. Like we have not seen what Luffy's up to, and this is the longest 15 minutes of my freaking life in the chat. It's like, well, yeah, for 15 minutes before it drops, like it's been minutes. It's been weeks.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of time flying by. But yeah, it's great chapter. One Piece has just continued to be great all year long. Only been a few chapters where we were all kind of like, yeah, it's all right. But for the most part, this whole year has been great. Wano continues to be impressive. We're seeing the left and right hands of the future Pirate King holding their own against, some of the top commanders in all of One Piece. So I'm loving what we're seeing and how strong the Straw Hats really are becoming. Even Nami and Chopper and them are able to do some decent stuff. So very intrigued as what'll be next. I do hope he goes back to Zoro and King. I want to see Zoro kind of finish off that fight. And obviously we all know typically with the typical trope, it's going to be that Sanji finishes his fight and Zoro finishes his fight before we get back to Luffy finishing off with Kaido. That's just kind of how it always goes. Everyone finishes their fight before Luffy. So I don't expect us to go back to Luffy Kaido until these two fights are done. I just hope that they're almost done. Because at this point, Sanji has proven he's going to be Queen. There's no questions about it anymore. Sanji's going to be Queen. Now we just have to get back to, can Zoro control Enma? Can he also, can he do what he needs to do with all the other blades to defeat King? And obviously we know King has been taking hits, but no damage has been being done. And we're thinking maybe it's because of his Lunarian race. Even when he did stab King, King was perfect and exploded and nothing there was no damage to King. So it's how will Zoro defeat King? So I want to see that. And we all know, I think, because Zoro has a time limit with that medicine he took. He's going to be out of commission again, and in 20 times the amount of pain he was in before. So I need to see this fight end. I needed to make sense that it ends soon before Onigashima gets put wherever it does. And then we can get back to Luffy. I don't really care about everything else. I don't care about Drake and Apu fighting CP0. I don't care about any of that.
just finish these major fights off. That's what it is. But I just can't wait.
Were Kid and Law done fighting Big Mom, or
no? They're still fighting Big Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's still a thing. They'll probably jump back to that before they go
Zoro.
back to Zoro.
I will be very, very, very upset.
I just can't wait because I can't wait till the King Queen fight are over, because Sanji's gonna walk up and walk to where Zoro is. Zoro's gonna walk and they're gonna just sit down. Zoro's gonna untie his mask and Sanji's gonna light a cigarette. It's okay, let's just see how Luffy let's see Luffy win this fight. And I just can't wait for that moment to happen. And then they just sit in the sill, they're sitting down on the cliff. I can already imagine they're sitting down on the cliff, just watching Luffy go Gear 4 and about to punch Kaido in the face. And I just want to see that picture happen.
Well, I could see I could see Luffy. He's gotten this handle on his Conqueror's Haki and using that in his attack. So I could see that building into him going Gear 5, them finally developing that, because Oda's been hinting that, hey, you're going to get more powerful during your battles more than in a training arc. So he developed some technique. Yeah.
And if it's not a Gear 5, if Luffy doesn't actually have a Gear 5, then it at least will show us his awakening.
Yeah.
Because awakening was brought back up for a reason. And we saw that Law and Kid both have it. So it has to it would only make sense that now it's Luffy's about to awaken his devil fruit. If we don't I'm only because of Oda bringing awakening back into the forefront of things and having it be the other two captains have it, that it would make sense that the next thing is that Luffy is about to awaken his devil fruit.
Gosh. So what are your, speculations on what his awakening might be? Because I saw something that said someone's saying oh, he can stretch time, and it's that's a stretch.
No. I think some of the things I've seen is rubber world, where he can turn the whole world around him into rubber, and can kind of use that almost like how Bellamy uses springs to even increase even more and all that stuff. But I honestly have no idea because he's not.
I think he's gonna turn into
I don't know.
like the like trampoline world kind of thing, just like everything become like bouncy, like super like
Yeah.
it's like everything like we're just gonna jump on trampolines, like all the rocks are gonna turn trampolines pretty much, or like everybody's just gonna be able to bounce around wherever, and like he knows how to control it because Luffy is rubber, so he knows how to bounce with it, while everybody else is
I
struggling
could
to
see
do it.
that,
It's
and then him like
almost like a domain expansion, really.
yeah, and then him controlling like how much a certain area will make you bounce. Like, hey, this could be solid, and then this will be trampoline. So only where he needs it to be a trampoline will it bounce. That'd be cool.
We will find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z. Stay tuned for the next episode.
But yeah, I'm excited. One Piece is hidden. Chapter next week. There's no break, so that's gonna be awesome. Outside of that, guys, again, just make sure you guys follow us on social media. We're on Instagram as The Anime Feast, on Twitter and YouTube as Anime Feast. Be sure to give us a follow, give us a like, subscribe to the YouTube page. And until next time.
Stay hungry, my friends.
Peace.
Peace.